The big stuff never comes through fit throwing. I believe I cannot park with ease. I believe that I cannot afford to park with ease. My feeling about my personal prosperity is such that I cannot buy for myself ease. I have to buy for myself instead suffering. I'll park 10 miles away and I'll walk in. I'll Uber in. I'll Uber in. I'll Uber in. Then I don't have any parking to do. I'll Uber in. What? You want $65 to get from the airport to the hotel? Are you crazy? You got to let them do whatever they're doing, and you got to decide that you can't find your happiness by controlling them, because there's always going to be another one that is uncontrollable. You think you've got control because somebody tried to bend the laws of the universe by responding to your fit, which just teaches you to throw a fit and throw a fit and throw a fit and throw a fit and throw a fit. So you keep getting little crumbs of finances while you feel miserable the whole way. And miserable is a long way from satisfied. But if you were to bite the bullet and be happy for just a little while, we know it's a big price to pay. But if you were to really care about feeling satisfied, what would happen is abundance would flow in, and the $50 would feel irrelevant to you in the scheme of all of the abundance that is flowing to you. These are the cooperative components. I want the red dot to connect to the red dot, but now it's in the way of the blue dot. Well, I don't want the blue dot to be in the way of the red dot. Well, then figure it out. Figure it out. There's a way to figure it out. There's a way to get it all. The path isn't through manipulating others and getting them to give in or to compensate for you. The way to it is by finding a way to be satisfied anyway. And in satisfaction, you will then be guided. The impulse will come to give you whatever you want. In other words, if you are determined to feel satisfied, so you're not willing to give away your satisfaction based upon something that you have no control over. So you could, for example, you could acknowledge, let's get your yellow pad out, and it's first thing in the morning, and we've inspired you to write your pad, and you think the Marriott charged $50 for parking. This just seems like price gouging, and it just feels like such unfairness. And I can't change it, let's say. I can't throw enough fits to really solve that all the time. And so I want to find some way of soothing myself. So I'm going to try to take that subject, that prickly, annoying, maybe even more than annoying subject of dissatisfaction and beyond. And I'm going to see if I can find any satisfaction in it. So, because you want to feel better, you go down that path and you think, most things are about supply and demand. And clearly, there's not unlimited parking. And so they've got to find some way of sorting it out. Would I feel better having no parking available because they've given it all away to all the people that got here first? The supply and the demand, if there was no charge for the parking, it may have very well been all filled up and no place for you to park at all. Is that more or less satisfying? Well, that's less satisfying. I am appreciative that there was a place for me to park. They could just get so tired of people complaining about the parking situation. People that aren't willing to pay for the cost of the parking structure, who aren't willing to pay for the security of the parking structure, who don't care about the maintenance of the parking structure, who don't care about the maintenance. The management could just be so tired of dealing with people who are so upset about parking that there could just be no more parking. Would that be more satisfying? No, that's less satisfying. So it's only the money and the parking that's bothering me. All you can control is your relationship with your prosperity. And that's what this is about. This is about your relationship with your prosperity. It's not about how much parking costs. It's about your relationship with your prosperity. And that blessed contrasting, overcharging parking garage pointed out to you the imbalance in you about your financial abundance and prosperity. It just showed you that you're not in balance yet. You're still wanting others to do the adjustments so that you can be prosperous. I want the whole world to charge less for everything, and then I'll be rich. If everybody would just give everything away, then I wouldn't need money that I don't have. You expressed your lackful prosperity consciousness and expected someone to yield to you. And that will get you a little ways down the road, but it won't make you rich. Decide that the way you feel is what matters the most. You see, it's a very conditional response to life. You charge me too much, I will respond with negative emotion. If you charge me just right, I will respond with more positive emotion. So my emotion is controlled by what you do, which means I'm in a world of hurt all the time because I got to control you. Now, I'm good. I'm developing my skill at getting free parking. I show up, I act a little irritated, and then you comp me. So I've got my conditional living down pretty good. And when I'm living in a world where that's the way we play the game, the more we complain, the more people who don't want to fight yield. The more people who believe that the customer's always right give the complaining customer what they want. But that complaining customer holds themselves in a state of constant aggravation and pushing against. It's a price far, far too great to pay. Because while you're saving $15 or $50 on parking, you're cutting yourself off from the resources, from the replenishment of source energy, from the good ideas, from the flow of life, from being in sync with your inner being who knows where all the treasures are that you've got buried in your vibrational reality. That's really what we're wanting you to hear. You didn't come to battle against one another. You came to make peace with your own alignment. You came to make peace with your own inner being. You came to utilize the leverage that the universe has already lined up for you. You see, you forget your worthiness when you fight with pettiness over peanuts. It's like you forget how worthy you really are. When you're demanding of what comes to you, you've forgotten what's being offered to you. You forget that not only is it just being offered to you, it's being offered to you in specific proportion and in perfect accuracy of detail of everything that your life has caused you to ask for. If you could see the vortex that you've created and understand the care with which your inner being is aware of it, and understand that your inner being knows each and everything that you've asked for, and you're deserving of all of it, and knows your vibrational relationship to every bit of it. If you could just accept that a little bit, or just find a reason to feel satisfied and watch how much the universe yields to you, it is our promise to you that you will stop feeling like you need to nitpick over who else is doing whatever they're doing. You see, what happens is when you've got your feet in this physical world, you want so much for them to get you. That's why you complain to the valet guy, and then you complain to the front desk, and then you complain to the manager. You'd go all the way to the Supreme Court if you could, in order to get them to get you, because you're so sure that you are right. And what we want you to understand is you can be absolutely right with the facts and crossways of your own vibration, because it doesn't matter how right you are, this wadded up anger and negative emotion is preventing you from your connection with what really will lead you to all of the ultimate things that you've been asking for. There is no giant right and wrong in the sky. There's just you letting in what you're asking for and you not letting in what you're asking for. And when you're demanding it of other people, you're not even beginning to let it in, because they don't hold the keys to your kingdom. You do. And your emotion is letting you know whether you're flowing in the direction of all the resources that are all lined up for you, or whether you're pulling against them. And oh boy, we understand. Nothing makes you feel more like throwing a fit than moving away from who you really are. Nothing makes you feel more justified in your anger than to be pinching off the resources, especially when you've thought as much as you've thought, and you've put as much as you've put there, and you care as much as you care. Nothing feels worse than moving in opposition to that. And there's not enough comp tickets in the world to compensate for moving away from what you naturally will receive. It's not just money. It's not just values and deals. It's clarity, and it's timing, and it's rhythm, and it's replenishment, and it's ideas. It's being in the right place at the right time. It's feeling your worthiness. It's feeling your absolute power. It's knowing that you can be or do or have anything that you choose. It's knowing that no one can stand in your way. It's knowing that nothing is in your way except some beliefs that you picked up along your physical trail that no longer apply.